gave alternative facts to that. But the point remains.
Wait a minute. Alternative
that
facts?
So everyone knows of Leo Messi. He is the greatest living football player. Football meaning football for normal people, and soccer for Americans. If you don't agree with that, you can please feel free to unfriend me on Facebook. We don't need to associate with people of questionable taste. Those who don't know about Messi should observe a few minutes of silence, contemplating their ignorance, and to wonder how their lives could have taken such destitute turns. Wise people who are much cleverer than me, which is like most of the world, consider the hierarchy of greatness as follows. Number one, God, wherever she is these days. Number two, the Dalai Lama. And number three, Lionel Messi. This is not open for discussion. It is one of those truths that we behold as self-evident. No, Donald Trump is not on this list. Sorry, he is on a different list. Another time. So, Messi is from Argentina. He was a shy boy who was exceptional with football as a child, sickly, small kid, was scouted by Barcelona, and sent there at the age of 12. They nurtured him, and over the years he has been doing poetic, magical things.
Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is! And the whole of this ground stands and applauds the 19-year-old. Have you seen a better goal than that anywhere this season? I very much doubt it.
Things that would bring tears to everyone's eyes who appreciate excellence. Ask Ray Hudson. He'll tell you.
Take a look at this again, people. This miraculous footballer. This halo of a footballer. Oh, ludicrous. Absolutely phenomenal. And how do you put statistics on this, Phil? This isn't measurable, because this is the art of human. Arsene Wenger was so wrong when he called him a PlayStation player. He was so wrong. This is the art of football. Levitated by the human touch and spirit and everything that goes.
I admit myself that I often become emotional when I see these videos, which is quite an achievement at my age, for an old cynical man to become emotional like that. Anytime you need inspiration, just search for his name on the internet. Watch some videos. It will also give you a dose of humility. Then you can also say thanks to your chosen God for giving us this gift in our lifetime of Messi. Cristiano Ronaldo is considered by many to be equally good. Ronaldo, of course, claims himself as much better. His standard pose is with his arms up, complaining to the referee. The thinking is that, like Tom Brady, if you dare come within 1 foot of this exalted man, you have committed a foul and should be banned from the sport forever. They erected a bust of him, which was meant to scare small children. I have this video of him scoring a goal in the World Cup. Beautiful goal. And it's even more remarkable by the commentary of Ronaldo's goal.
വീർപ്പടക്കി പിടിച്ച് ശ്വാസമടക്കി പിടിച്ച് സോച്ചി. പോർച്ചുഗൽ ട്രെയിലിംഗ് 2-3. ഫ്രീ കിക്ക് റൊണാൾഡോ എടുക്കുന്നു. ആ ഫ്രീ കിക്ക് ക്രിസ്ത്യാനോ റൊണാൾഡോ. റൊണാൾഡോ നിങ്ങളിത് കാണുക. ഈ ഭൂഗോളത്തിൽ why this man is called a genius. ഫുട്ബോൾ ലോകത്ത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ജീനിയസ് എന്ന വിളിപ്പേരിന് പോർച്ചുഗലിന്റെ ഈ പ്രിയപുത്രൻ അർഹനായത് എന്ന് അടിവരയിട്ട് തെളിയിക്കുന്ന ഗോൾ. ക്രിസ്ത്യാനോ റൊണാൾഡോ ഓവർ ദ മൂൺ. ഇറ്റ്സ് 3-3. My goodness, what a goal! Cristiano Ronaldo.
Messi, it turns out, is almost always one of the smallest players on the field, runs the least, has the least time on the football at his feet, other than the goalkeepers, of course. Yet, he's the best. So many of us have been trying that formula to do the least and wait for rewards. I know it works. People get elected with having done the least public service to great posts, presidents, of course. Of course, in some cases it was because they were stable genius or knew the best words. I have mentioned this theory about doing the least, like Messi, to everyone in my life. I give that as the reason for my indolence, but they don't get it. I give them a copy of Oblomov, and that puzzles them even further. There have been other great players in the history of football. Images come to mind of Ronaldinho, Pele, of course, Maradona scoring with his hand, Neymar rolling and rolling and rolling on the pitch.
Dá vantagem, seu juiz. Dá vantagem que o Neymar pegaram ele no caminho. E agora, seu juiz? Claro que não pode. E aí?
And so many others. There was another one whose brilliant career was cut short. So this is that secret story. Thanks to Kellyanne Conway, we now have permission to reveal alternative facts.
So don't be so overly dramatic about it, Chuck. You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that. But the point.
So at the age of 12, I went to a boarding school in India, in the Himalayas. Beautiful city, Nainital. School was situated 7,500 feet above sea level, top of the mountain. Clean air, wonderful sights all around, Himalayas, great teachers, lovely atmosphere. This was one of those very exclusive, private, snooty boarding schools that the British call public schools, for rich people's spoiled children. They turn out snobs by the dozens. In each class, 2 or 3 children who are admitted are on scholarship. These are from non-rich families, and there's a huge national competition for these. This allows for the management, the upper classes, to have a clear conscience by having thrown some scraps to the unwashed masses. I was one of those scholarship students. In the school, apart from excellent academics, sports were compulsory. Everyone had to play all the basic sports. These were in order of importance: field hockey. This is late 50s and 60s we're talking about. Field hockey, football or soccer, and cricket. Cricket had not become such a national obsession in India like it is now. These days in India, you're required to play cricket by law, even if it is in the streets. Always have to play cricket. If you reveal to anybody, you're a man or a woman, if you reveal to anybody that you have not played cricket or don't have a strong opinion about cricket, you cannot get a job. cannot get married, and will not be served at drink and parties. You will be homeless and unloved all your life. In India, that is. Probably also in Pakistan. Same situation. Ask any Indian. When you meet an Indian, ask him or her to give their opinion, and they'll give you the secret knowledge of all the cricket at the drop of the hat. There are 3 subjects that every Indian knows: cricket, mangoes, and bad Bollywood movies. Try them. Anyway, I digress. Who am I to argue? Shouldn't criticize other cultures and their values. Not nice, not nice. So, as I mentioned, among other things, we got to play football in the school. I had one thing going for me right away. Like Messi, I was among the shortest kids in my class. I still am. So, our main field, the main playing field, was a plateau around 7,000 feet above sea level, literally top of the mountain, steep drop on 3 sides, windy every day. The losing team, after a match, the losing team insisted on kicking a few balls over the fence just to annoy the teachers and coaches. And the school employed one person just to go find the balls, that rolled down the mountain a few hundred feet every day and got entangled in bushes and so forth. So one time during a game, I was asked to kick a corner, to take the corner. Everyone was given a chance to play various positions on the field. Socialist country, like Bernie says, why should the top 1% get all the privileges just because they are talented? So I get to kick the corner. I kick the ball. Everyone jumps to head it. Defenders smack other players on their faces. Shirts are pulled. Feet are stamped upon. The usual. The wind, it was windy as I mentioned, the wind catches the ball, and lo and behold, it goes into the goal without anyone touching it. And we win. Later on, years later, the word of my enviable technique reached David Beckham. You heard of David Beckham. He became famous. He became famous for doing exactly the same.
And this next kick, Beckham could raise the roof here with a goal. I don't believe it. David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals. Give that man a knighthood. That's unbelievable, my friend.
Became rich and married Spice Girl, big brand. Even had a movie named after him, Bend It Like Beckham. I hope you saw the movie. It's a very good movie. It, I think, stars Keira Knightley and Parminder Nagra and Anupam Kher, very famous actor from India. I had the occasion to meet Anupam Kher years later during the showing of my film in Bombay. Different story. Another day. Anyway, so I scored a memorable winning goal. My brilliant career was on its way. Suddenly, other students stopped bullying me. I became popular. Teachers would smile at me for no reason at all. Although no one asked for my jersey or autograph, I was sure that was to come in the future. So too much sudden fame is also not good. I knew that. I was a smart kid. Remember, I was on scholarship. Now it was just a matter of time before Barcelona called. Maybe Manchester United would call first. Because of our loving ties with England. They having screwed us for centuries. So they think of us often. So Manchester United. So I had to decide where to go first when they called. Tough choices. Should I go to Man United first, Barcelona? The coach asked me to play as forward so I can score goals, since I was so good, for my house team. This is the dorm team in my boarding school. But, as a forward, surprisingly, that didn't happen. I didn't score any goals. You see, one needs proper service to score goals. If you have incompetent people, incompetent supporting players who can't put the ball at your feet, in the box, while the goalkeeper is not in front of you, how the hell are you supposed to score? That never happened. Ask the Argentinian team. No one in that whole country has figured out how they would feed the ball to Messi. I tried to explain that to people when I was in Argentina last year, but my Spanish is not very good. I don't think they understood what I was trying to say. Anyway. In school, since I did not score as a forward, eventually after a while, they moved me to center. And then to back position, where I could do the least amount of harm. Our house team was very good. It had won the trophy the previous year, was completely favored to repeat this year. We had the same technique as the Indian national team, Indian national football team. That is to kick the ball hard and far. And then 5 people run as fast as they can toward the ball and hope to get hold of it. If it is kicked back, which is often, rinse and repeat, over and over. And then while it's going on, it helps to shout in Bengali, which is a language suited for football. Go Mohan Bagan, go Mohan Bagan. And if you're not Bengali, you say, go Sachin, go Sachin. That is the standard cheer for all sports in India. Go Sachin. I don't have enough time to explain that to non-Indians. Take my word for it. Or ask an Indian, what does go Sachin mean? Anyway, in school, our team reached us finals again. Foggy day, you couldn't see more than 10 feet. It was common. But we played anyhow. In the Himalayas, at that height, if you wait for good weather, you'll be old and feeble before that happens. Those days, the ball used to be brown, not fancy colors like they have these days. Brown, proper old football. And since ours was the dominant team, most of the game was played in the opposing team's 1/3 of the field. Just a matter of time before we were going to score. Everybody knew that. The ball rarely came to our end. So the goalkeeper and myself, we're teenagers. We're doing teenager things, that we're required to do. Joking around, behaving badly, telling stories, telling jokes, throwing pebbles at each other, playing catch, so laughing at bad puns, singing songs. That's how football is played in proper British schools, like Eton and Harrow. You know about Eton and Harrow, right? If not, you should watch this mediocre series on Netflix called The English Game, and you'll understand, what that is. Wellington is supposed to have said that the Trafalgar battle was won in the fields of Eton and Harrow. Not true. In reality, more than half the soldiers were non-English. Only a quarter of the 120,000 soldiers who defeated Napoleon were British, and maybe 1/8 were English. And there were 53,000 Prussians who eventually showed up and swung the battle in Wellington's way. But anyway, not my place to argue, especially not with the British. If they want to say Eton and Harrow did it, so they did it. They produced prime ministers like Churchill. And Prime Minister Nehru of India studied at Harrow. Back to our football story. So the game was scoreless. Looked like we might go into overtime. And even if it went to penalties, we were sure to win. I wasn't one of those who was going to kick the penalty, so we were sure to win. Only a few minutes left. So there's a lot of noise. Suddenly, ball, ball. My name was being screamed in unison. It seems that someone on the other team had managed to kick the ball hard, and they were, of course, charging, which is the Indian way of playing football. Couldn't see anything. Couldn't see. Through the fog, I looked. And then we could make out 10 people charging, toward me, all fuzzy. And at the last minute, the damn ball dropped from the sky, from the fog. No worries. I just decided to kick it hard and get it over with. No tiki-taka, no tiki-taka sissy distribution for me. No building from the back, unnecessary complication, which Greggy is doing, Pep Guardiola would be shocked at my technique and tear out his remaining two hair, So I kicked the ball. The ball was wet, I mentioned it was foggy, the ball was wet, and I mishit. So instead of going forward, it went backwards, catching the goalkeeper by surprise. He was no longer laughing. So the ball goes back, and I score a goal again, but this time it is on my side. We lost. No trophy that year for us. Big upset. I tried to explain to everyone that shit happens in life, particularly in football. Even Liverpool lost a game. Buddha said shit happens. It is on t-shirts and bumper stickers. So it has to be true, Well, that evening, during dinner in the dining hall, no one would sit next to me. I was kicked off the football team. Many students somehow had difficulty walking straight anymore and would slip and run into me. Of course, the school was in the Himalayas, in the mountains, steep mountains, unsteady path. Maybe that was the reason. In 1994, Men's World Cup was played in America, USA. The Colombian team was picked by no less than the great Pelé himself to possibly win the World Cup. Against the United States, 22nd June, Andres Escobar, a Colombian player, made a mistake while defending and scored an own goal. Some people have a theory that he was terrified by the sight of Alexi Lalas charging about the pitch. This here. Anyway, that goal gave USA an unexpected win of 2-1. Colombia was eliminated later on. Unfortunately, 9 days later in Colombia, Escobar was shot. 6 bullets. Supposedly, after each shot, the killer shouted, "Goal, goal." Not good. I mention this just to emphasize the seriousness of an own goal sometimes, in some cultures. I wasn't shot. Obviously, I'm still here. And guns are not easily available in India. They haven't reached the enlightenment level of USA and other countries. A young friend of mine here had a baby boy, and the baby's grandfather gave the gun as a gift so when he grows up. True story. Happened in the Carolinas. We don't travel there. Meanwhile, back to my football career. To this day, everyone wonders that if I had continued to play, they'd given me a chance to continue to play, who knows? Maybe I could have gone to achieve greatness. No call came from Barcelona. Even though I continued to do my part to become a great soccer player like Messi, such as remaining short and working as little as possible, doing the least amount of work. I tell you, the whole football system in India is screwed up. Too much corruption. Not just in India, worldwide, including FIFA. Corruption. People went to jail, ask Grant Wall. He'll tell you, people went to jail. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Now, let's face it.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it.